Good evening and welcome to the Ball Homes Night of Hope remote. I'm Amber Philpott with WKYT, and I am honored to be here with you again tonight. I'm excited to be your host tonight. We are so happy that you have joined us for this action-packed hour, and we've got a lot in here. You are about to hear stories of heartbreak, rebuilding, and more importantly, of hope. And you're going to get some glimpses inside of the Hope Center. And we have Danny Trejo in the house. Well, I mean, virtually in the house with us. So he is going to be here and it's going to be great. We can't be together in person, but this is the next best thing. And we are sure glad that you are here with us virtually tonight. What a great treat for us all to have Danny Trejo here. So let's get started though by hearing from those that you are helping tonight just by simply participating.
Today, I'm safe.
It's crazy. I'm a whole lot more comfortable in my own skin.
When you walk through the door, you can feel the love, and that's something I've never had before.
This is actually my first time being at a place where I can call home and call it safe with me, because I have two kids, 13 and 12-year-old, and they love it here.
It was the first place that nobody judged me. Nobody had harsh words.
I've never met a more loving group of individuals than I have at the Hope Center. You know, a group that encourages and embraces diversity and accepting of who you are.
So just kind of getting that safety net of people that could relate to me. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, well, I've been through that too. It's like knowing you've got somebody to talk to.
I've got so many people, a community here of friends and family.
They're my comfort zone, and we are what keep each other safe.
I don't have a whole lot of family, so just the bond that we have, and staff is really there for you if you need anything, and I really feel comfortable that I can go to any of them at any time.
They've taught me how to put the power of God behind me, so it doesn't matter what comes at me because I got Him to protect me.
Being able to deal with problems that happen in life on a day-to-day basis without stressing out over them or wanting to not live or wanting to use drugs or alcohol to cover that stuff up.
But when you're homeless like I was, it's just a blessing in disguise. When you don't have to be out in the weather, it's just absolutely wonderful there.
So I feel safe because, like, since I've been here, I feel safe. It's like a how can I say? It's like a safe haven.
All they cared about was helping me. So the Hope Center will always be home.
Thank you for sharing with us. You, our clients, are why we are here. I'm Kathy Jacobs, Board Chairman of the Hope Center. Good evening and welcome to the 12th Annual Ball Homes Night of Hope. Thank you for joining us. While we would prefer to be gathering at the Opera House, this evening will still allow us to celebrate our clients' successes. You, by being here as a supporter, are rebuilding lives by helping others to overcome homelessness, addiction, and mental health issues. I want to first thank Myra Ball and the Ball family for their long-standing support of the Hope Center. Their commitment to serving others is an inspiration, and without their support, we wouldn't be where we are today. Thank you to all of our sponsors. You make so much possible. And thank you to our Hope Center staff. These frontline workers have continued to serve our clients day in and day out since the beginning of the pandemic. They have done an amazing job at keeping our clients safe and cared for during a very difficult time. Tonight is a celebration of Hope Center clients and their success stories. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy this evening's program. We know you'll be inspired by all the wonderful stories you're about to hear.
Thank you, Kathy. Hi, I'm Janice James, Interim Executive Director of the Hope Center. Let's go over to the emergency shelter, the hub of so many things we do. Men who need help come here and receive a place to stay, 3 meals each day at the Jacobs Hope Cafeteria. healthcare at our Hyde Hope Health Clinic, operated by Health First, clothes to wear, and staff to work with them to help through the challenges that contribute to them becoming homeless. Many don't know that during normal operations, we house from 180 to 200 men in this one building alone. In addition to our emergency shelter, our homeless veterans program is here, our sobering up center, our employment program, Hope Mobile, and street outreach staff. Thank you for visiting with me at the emergency shelter. Now let's hear from Gregory. He's a client here at the veterans program.
I got here after Thanksgiving of last year. I was homeless, broke and homeless, but I wasn't on drugs or anything of that nature. I was just in a bad situation because of the economy, and that's what brought me here. The Hope Center has everything there. We can get housing, we can get jobs. They work every which way in the world for us. You can go to one of our workers and they'll be there right there to help us. This has been a blessing. When you're homeless like I was, it's just a blessing in disguise. When you don't have to be out in the weather, it's just absolutely wonderful there. And it truly is.
And we say thank you for sharing your story with us. You help so many like Gregory when you are a Hope Center sponsor, donor. You change lives by what you do. And we couldn't do it without the help of those folks. So we want to take a moment to say a big thank you to everyone who makes that possible. We want to thank our Ball Homes Night of Hope sponsors right now. And we want to first thank our title sponsor, Ball Homes and the Ball family. They are incredible friends of this program, and we say thank you. Our presenting sponsor, Kathy Jacobs and the Don Jacobs Charitable Foundation. Thank you. And thank you now to our gold sponsors, Alliance Cole, Anthony and Angela Beck, Brendan Jacobson Family Fund, Coalition for Public Safety, Aaron and Bill Rouse, Quantrell Auto Group, UPS. Our silver sponsors, the Lynn and Rovina Alexander Family Foundation, Caller Properties, LLC, Carrie Thayer Cardwell and David Cardwell, Central Bank, CHI St. Joseph, Clay Engels Company, Computer Services and Solutions, Jean and Jean Cravens, Dr. and Mrs. Kent L. Davis, Densmore and Scholl, LLP, Dupree Catering and Events, A Godsend Roofing, Richard and Mary Beth Griffith, Herod Concrete and Stone, Humana Healthy Horizons, Integrity Architecture, Kentucky Utilities, Mahan Multimedia, John and Jill McCarty, PNC, Revive Productions, Setzer Properties, UK College of Nursing, UK Healthcare, Wabuck Development Company, West Banco, and WKYT. And we ask that you please see your print program at the end of this event for the full listing of the sponsors, as there are many more who made this evening a success. And so we say thank you to every single one of our sponsors. Normally, we would give you a big round of applause, so I'm going to do it right here. And I hope that you give them a big round of applause wherever you are watching tonight, because they deserve it. That's for sure. We want to take a moment now for a very special donor and supporter who passed away this year. Dr. Robert Strauss helped to create the Hope Center Recovery Program from the very beginning. So we want to take a moment to thank Dr. Strauss and to honor his wife, Ruth, tonight. Dr. Strauss, thank you. Ruth, thank you. All that we do here at the Hope Center is to help our clients. That's what it's all about. And we all miss seeing them at the Lexington Opera House this year, me included. So we wanted to make sure that they got to be a part of this very special night. So they are attending watch parties on the Hope Center campus this evening. So we want to do a quick check-in now, a live check-in to see what's going on over at the Don Ball Campus Center with our Men in Recovery program. Gentlemen, welcome. I miss seeing and hearing from all of you. How are you?
Do you guys want to say hi to Amber?
So I want to know if they are ready for Danny Trejo, because that is a great get that we have tonight to be able to hear from him.
Are you all excited to see Danny Trejo?
All right, we've got a full house over there. So gentlemen, sit back and we're going to get to that in just a moment. And not only are Hope Center clients watching this evening, but we also have Recovery Kentucky centers from all across the state participating tonight. So we want to say welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We really appreciate that. What a great audience that we are going to have in the house virtually for Danny Trejo this evening. And to all of our participants, please make sure that you stay tuned until the very end of the program, because we're going to get the opportunity to actually talk to Danny live. So make sure that you stay till the very end. You're going to be able to ask questions in the chat section, and we're going to try to get to as many of those questions as we can while he has given us his time so graciously to stay on and to do that live chat. Also tonight, if you would like to help us even more by raising a little bit of money, don't forget our Sparkles TV and Sting Like a Bee silent auction this evening. And we have some amazing items for you. We have got artwork for you tonight. We have got some really cool jewelry for you tonight. How about this one? We have a boxing glove signed by the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. That is pretty cool. And we've got not just a TV, we've got a huge TV as well. So those are some of our items. If you would like to bid and check them out and further help the Hope Center, just go to hopectr.org. Again, that's hopectr.org to sign up and start bidding. All right, let's visit right now the Privet Center for a few minutes. And after that, we're then going to get you to Danny Trejo.
Thank you, Amber. Welcome to the Hope Center's Men's Recovery Program here at the George Privet Center. My name is Chuck Gilliam, and along with David Brown, I'm one of the directors here. The Privet Center houses about 134 men in our long-term residential recovery program. They're supported by professionals, paraprofessionals, and a peer mentor staff. They live, eat, and learn how to lead a new life together without drugs or alcohol. Learning the 12 steps, having a caring community to support them, and a safe place to stay gives our clients a great opportunity for a second chance. Men in the early stages of our recovery program also stay at the Don and Kathy Jacobs house and the emergency shelter. But the Privet Center serves as the core of our men's recovery program. After our clients complete the program, the Don Ball Campus Center in Hillrise Place, in partnership with Lexington Housing Authority, have 90 drug and alcohol-free apartments for them to live in while they transition back to life outside of the Hope Center. The Hope Center is an amazing place to watch our clients grow and then change their lives for the better.
My life starting off actually, was not bad. I had a loving parents and who did the best they could to give me everything they could. It wasn't until I was about 6 that my father became ill and my life turned upside down. My mother had to go to work and I didn't get to see her much anymore. So I was stuck with this father who was drunk and angry at the world. And I was kind of like his vent, his punching bag. I was taught early to find things outside of myself to help release the combustion I had built up in me. I got sent to a group home when I was probably a probably 13. That was after they done sent me to multiple group homes in our town. When I got home from my group home, it helped for a little while. But then I ended up back in the same place, the same exposures, the same partying, the same drugs, the same everything. In 2016, I started doing heroin, and I died twice. I was on the run for 3 years. I had warrants, felonies. I was wanted by everybody possible. And one day they found me dead on the sidewalk. And they scraped me up and they took me to jail. You know, I spent about a year in jail, and they said, you're being brought to the Hope Center. At first I was angry because I didn't want to talk to nobody about the things that they wanted to ask me about. You know, and I was sitting there, and they started drilling me, they started talking to me, and I just started bawling. They was like, what's wrong? I said, I don't trust y'all, any of you. I said, if my own parents would deceive me and betray me, how can I trust somebody? And they said I made the first step, I let somebody in. You know, and that's when my life started to change. You know, I started to listen to people for once instead of acting like I knew what I was talking about. There was a shoulder to cry on. There was an ear to speak into. They was able to show me how to take all the turmoil and all the darkness of my life and turn it into a positive tool to help other people stay sober. You know, my darkness is now my purpose. And that's a transformation I never thought could exist in my life. You know, but I couldn't have done it without this place.
Danny Trejo has developed a prolific career in the entertainment industry with a hard-earned and atypical road to success. From years of imprisonment to helping troubled youth battle drug addictions, from acting to producing, and now on to restaurant ventures, Trejo's name, face, and achievements are all well recognized in Hollywood and beyond. Trejo has starred in dozens of films, including Desperado, Heat, the From Dusk Till Dawn series, Con Air, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, the Spy Kids movies, Machete, and the Badass trilogy. On the television side, Trejo reunited with Robert Rodriguez for Miramax's From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. He has also had recurring roles on such shows as Sons of Anarchy, Breaking Bad, and The Flash, and has been featured in episodes of Blue Bloods, What We Do in the Shadows, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Kidding, among others. Despite Danny Trejo's impressive list of credits, it's his continuous role as father of three and an intervention counselor that bring him the most satisfaction. Danny is excited to share his love of food with the world with the release of his first cookbook, Trejo's Tacos, Recipes and Stories from LA, released in April 2020. His colorful life and prolific career are chronicled in the new bio-documentary, Inmate Number 1, The Rise of Danny Trejo, which was released on July 7th, 2020. Please join me in welcoming our speaker, Danny Trejo.
My name's Danny, and I'm an alcoholic and an addict in recovery. And I always say in recovery because, you know, you can be in a program. You can be in a program. But I'm on a program. I'm on this program, you know, but if you're not in it, you know, it's like being in a wagon. It's easier to fall out of it's easier to fall off a wagon than it is to fall out of a wagon. So I'm in recovery. And I love being in recovery. I've been clean and sober for 52 years. I got clean in 1968, and I got sober in 1968. And I had an uncle when I was 8 years old turn me on to grass. And when I say that at an adult gathering, people are kind of like, wow, you know. When I say that in the middle school, everybody, yeah, you know, most kids start pretty young, you know. And I smoked weed with my uncle for about 3-4 years. And along about 12, he started using heroin, and I saw him, I found him, and I threatened to snitch on him if he didn't give me some. So jumped right into being a dope fiend, I guess. And, you know, he gave me a fix. And I think whatever I had going on inside me, I didn't know, don't tell me I had problems. I didn't know of any. Whatever I had going on inside me went away. And I always had that carrot, no matter what I was doing, whether I was taking pills, whether I was drinking, whether I was, I always knew that, that's what I wanted to do. And I'll never forget when I realized I wanted to shoot dope. And my grandfather, who was a tyrant, big, mean, and he raised 6 boys, 5 girls, and Gilbert was the youngest. And I was 12 years old, and my grandfather was yelling at us. Me and Gilbert were standing there, he was screaming, "God damn it," froth out of the mouth. He was crazy and mad, And I knew he was going to hit us. And I was like, oh my God, oh no. I knew it. He was going to hit me any day. And I happened to look out the corner of my eye. And my uncle, he was going to sleep. He's staring at the face of death, and he's going. And I'm thinking, my God, and he just kept on. I'm pinching because I know he's going to hit me, and all of a sudden he got so angry. Gilbert. He just stormed off into his room, and frothy at the mouth. And I'm looking at Gilbert, nod. I didn't know it. He was going to sleep, and all of a sudden he just comes out and, did he hit us? Oh my God, I want to be like that the rest of my life, I didn't know what he was doing. 2 weeks later, I found out. He had gotten arrested, was in jail for 2 days, and came out of jail. He didn't look right. He was very, very sick, and ran into a bathroom, and boom, I went in after him, and I seen what he was doing. I just said, give me some. No, I can't. Give me some and I'll tell. So he said, hold this. And I went through the whole ritual, and I don't know what was going on in my life then. I hated hearing my dad and mom fight. I hated screaming. I hated the fights, all that stuff, But all of a sudden, all that was gone. It was just gone. I didn't know it was gone. It was just gone. And I chased Gilbert around for the rest of, God, my using days. We went to jail together. We did robberies together. And I drank when I couldn't use drugs. That's what I mean. So it's real hard for me to just say I'm an addict, and if I'm not drinking, if I'm not using drugs, I'm drinking. You know what I mean? So, and if I'm not drinking, I'm using drugs, and I can remember accidentally busting into an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting when I was 15 years old. By accident. We thought it was a party. There's a carload of us, about 20, and we saw these cars parked outside this house in our old neighborhood. My neighborhood was the murder capital of Los Angeles for a while. You can't have a party without inviting the murderers. That's like stupid. And so we stopped, went to the trunk of the car to get the tools necessary to crash parties. We got tire irons, pieces of pipe, hammers. I got a case of beer, 3 bottles of wine, half pint of whiskey. I was already loaded on Red Devils, Seconal, and I had a 38 snub nose, and everybody just crashed in. You got to kick in the door when you crash a party. You can't knock, So just call the cops. So we just kicked the door, rushed in, and there's only 2 greetings you can get when you crash a party. It's like either everybody rushes to the opposite side of the room. That means they're willing to throw this party in your honor, or they rush to the side of the room that you're on, and that's what them pipes and tire irons, 38 snub noses for. We got the stupidest greeting in the world. We had people rushing us going, hi, I'm Bob. Hey, I'm Bill. And it's hard to shake hands holding a case of beer, 3 bottles of wine, half pint of whiskey. And I always told my troops to stay together. We got the weapons. They can't beat us. You stay. But what you guys did was you did that divide and conquer. Because when I turned around to go, you had all in like little groups of 4 talking about being sober. And I'm holding a case of beer. This guy comes up and starts talking. Daddy, why don't you put that stuff outside? And I go, come on, I got penitentiaries to go to, fool. He says, I've been on the program 8 years. I couldn't understand what he was talking about. What program? This program means you're locked up. You can't get out of this house in 8 years. And he said, I've been sober for 8 years. I don't want to be around anybody that's sober. I'm 15 years old. I'm crazier than hell. And I'm holding a case of beer, 3 bottles of wine, a half pint of whiskey, right? And I'm already loaded on pills. I'm letting you alone. And this guy starts talking to me, right? And I'm thinking, hey, okay. And finally I said, I got to get out of here. And I'm telling my troops, come on, let's go. And this guy says, Danny, if you leave this program, you will die, go insane, or go to jail. Now understand, anybody that just heard that, if you're an alcoholic and an addict, I just cursed you. That's the curse of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. It's the curse of Overeaters Anonymous. It's the curse of marijuana. That's the only alternatives we have. Do you understand? Cocaine's anonymous. If you leave, you're going to die, go insane, or go to jail. And those are the alternatives. Now, you might have enough money to get out of jail, but your liver's paying for it, you know what I mean? And hospitalizations and mental illness, So places that I started working with when I got clean, when I got sober in 1968, I started helping my fellow inmates first of all, you know what I mean? And we got together and just kind of like started groups and it helped do time. It helped do the time. And the more, it's hard to like delve into yourself in the penitentiary. You know what I mean? You just kind of like want to stay clean, want to stay sober. When I got out, I vowed to say the good Lord's name every day and do whatever I could for my fellow man. I started trying to help people. I remember the first I was standing in front of my mom's yard. I'm looking around and there's a lady dragging out her trash can. It's a Sunday, and she's dragging out her trash can because trash day was Monday. And this is before they had the big rolling kind. They used to put everything in a tub and drag it out. And I seen her, that's what I'll do. And I walked up to help her. I'll never forget what she said. She looked at me and said, "No me almost dead." I said, "Shut up, vieja." And I went and I got her trash can and I pulled it out. And I went to her backyard to get the other one. She never took her eyes off me because she knew I was going to break for her garage and steal something. Stolen something out of everybody's garage in the neighborhood. And when I pulled her other trash can out and walked away, she's just staring at me, That's what I started doing. That's all I knew how to do. I didn't know how to be a nice guy. You don't learn how to be a nice guy in prison. Nice guys don't do well. A lot of them change their name. And so, you tend to be gruff. You tend to try to be intimidating because to keep people away from you, it's like you have a look about you all the time that kind of says, I won't just kill you. I'll go kill the people that dry clean your clothes. And people tend to stay away from you, And then if they don't, you got to do whatever you got to do. But I started just helping people. I was working, and me and a kid named Danny Levitoff started a gardening business, and we didn't have a lawnmower. I had a 1959 Chevy Impala. God, I wish I still had it, but that a girlfriend of mine gave me, and And that's what we used. We drove around and stopped and asked people, hey, would you like us to mow your lawn? Sure. Okay. Do you have a lawnmower? You know, do you have trash bags? Do you have a rake? You know, we don't have anything. And we just mowed people's lawns. We get their lawnmower and go next door and ask them and use their lawnmower and come back and do theirs. That's all we did all day. And we, everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. Everything. There was this one lady that used to have a beautiful yard when I went to prison in 1965. And I'd only been out of prison 100 days, but this, she had a gorgeous one of those yards that everybody's in awe of, you know, beautiful stepping stone. And then I went to prison in 1965. I got out the end of 69, and she, her yard was like a jungle, just weeds. And I asked my mom, what happened to vieja? She said, oh, you know, one of her kids got killed in Vietnam, and another one got killed in a gang war, and her husband committed suicide inside the house. And she turned into a bruja, a witch lady. And you know, we both kind of laughed, but she would turn the kids into cats if they were bad. That's all the parents would tell their kids. And so we just did, you know, me and Danny, every 2-3 days, we'd go by her yard and do something, you know, just fix something, you know, she'd always watch us. She'd always watch us out through the window. She wouldn't come out, and she'd always put two glasses and a big pitcher of lemonade, you know, and it was funny because I give Danny the lemon, I drink it, he'd drink it, and make sure he didn't turn into a cat, and then we drink it. And she could never come outside because, you know, witches burn up in the daytime. And so it was strange, but slowly, you know, her yard got back into shape. You know, not the way it was when I left, but it was nice, you know, and had a lawn and sprinklers and flowers and so shrubbery. And this guy comes over and says, hey, how much are you charging the lady? I said, nothing, she's crazy. We're just doing it. So he said, well, come over. I want you to see my yard. So we go over and check this guy's yard out, and he starts telling us everything he wants us to do. And I'm, you know, keep ding, 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 ding. Oh, well, okay. So gets up to about $40. You know, that's a lot of money. And it was 1970, you know, and then he opens his garage, and this guy's got every tool known to mankind. You know what I mean? I mean, his garage, it's like you could tell there was a hammer missing because there was a painting of a hammer. And the garage was blue. There's a white hammer. I said, oh, hey, what happened to your hammer? And he says, look, I'll give you this equipment. This guy had every gardening tool known to mankind. He had a real edger and you know, like vroom kind of lawnmowers, you know. And so he said, I'll give you this equipment if you do my yard. And I said, do you want me to come wash your back? You know, I mean, I couldn't believe it, man, but we got so much equipment, we went and bought a truck. When we sold that, we had 3 trucks, but 4 people working, 5 people working for us. And this guy really got us started in business. My dad was in construction, and he was working in these big buildings, and he would come introduce me to the manager, you know, and the people that did the hiring for the gardeners and stuff. And in prison, this one instructor that I had in dry cleaning, he would always say, everything is in life is neutral, acid, or alkaline. I didn't know what that meant, but it sounded good. He said, if it's got too much acid, you got to put alkaline and make it neutral. And so when I would be talking to these managers, I would, oh, yeah, and I'd just pick up some dirt. I go, oh, they go, what's wrong? I said, a lot of alkali in that. That's not good for the plants. Well, what do I have to do? Well, get an acid compound and mix it, and we can neutralize it and be perfect. Oh, we'd get this job. I didn't know what I was talking about, okay? But I would get that dirt and I'd go take it to a nursery, and they tell me, hey, well, it's got to this, do this, and we'd come back and we were getting like big jobs, and all of a sudden we had like a real business. We had like tools. We had shirts with Danny 1, Danny 2, and a little gardening guy running with a lawnmower, and. When we sold that, we both went into drug abuse. He went into drug abuse work on. I went into a place down East LA called the Narcotics Prevention Project, and loved it. It was funny because a guy named Jimmy Pena, I thought he hired me as a counselor, but really, he knew I was a boxer, and they had a lot of guys outside that were dealing, and he wanted to get rid of them, so he hired me as muscle. And finally, when he told me, he says, Dan, your documentation wasn't worth a crap. Like, what are you talking about? He said, he's a good vato, isn't documentation. Oh, okay. But God, it was an experience working with drug addicts, working with alcoholics, working with people with mental illness, getting them to the right place. It's like there's a place for any problem you got, and it's like so beautiful to see somebody that you worked with, man. There's no greater feeling for me than I'm in the airport. This is 20 years later. I'm in the airport in Dallas, and some kid comes up. Man's got his wife, 2 babies, and he's saying, "Hey, Dan, I heard you talk when I was in juvenile hall, man. And thank you." I straightened up. Whoa, man! You'd almost go in the bathroom and start crying. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for letting me be a part of somebody's life other than robbing them or hurting them, And everything good's happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. I was working with this one kid who got me to be an extra. We had an agency that used to send us out to different places, man. And one night he said, "Come on, Danny, man, there's a lot of drugs on this set. Let's go. I don't want to go there." He had about 180 days or something, man. So my agency was sending me down to that movie anyway. We went down there, and it was a film called Runaway Train with John Voight and Eric Roberts. And as I walked on the set, this guy, oh my God, I took off my shirt. I got this tattoo, and I'm standing there without a shirt, and this guy comes over. I recognize this guy, man. And he says, "Hey, you're Danny Trejo." I go, "Yeah." He says, "I saw you win the lightweight and the welterweight title up with San Quentin." I go, "Yeah." I said, "You're Eddie Bunker." I was in prison with this guy. And Eddie says, "Danny, are you still boxing?" I go, "No, I'm training, Eddie." He said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "You're going to give me $50 for acting like a convict." And we both laughed because we'd been acting like convicts all our lives and not getting paid for it. And he says, "Well, listen, I adapted the screenplay to this." I didn't know what that meant. He says, "I got a little juice. We need a fighter. We need somebody to train one of the actors how to box." And I said, "What's it pay?" Because they were giving me $50 for acting like a convict. And he says, $320 a day. And I says, "How bad you want this guy beat up?" I thought he wanted me to beat somebody up. He was mad at somebody. I figured I'd do it and then write about it and tell my sponsor. And my sponsor would understand because it was for $320. And he goes, "No, you got to be real careful. This actor's high strung. He's already socked a couple of people." I says, "Eddie, for $320, give him a stick. Are you crazy? I've been beat up for free, home." And I started training an actor named Eric Roberts how to box. And the director saw me, and the director kind of said, "You'll be in movie. You fight Eric in movie." There's a Russian aristocrat, a guy named Andrei Kojalowski, says, "And you fight Eric in movie, and you be my friend." Well, if you come from a prison background, get a little leery when somebody says, "You be my friend." You know, you want to say, "What does that entail?" You know, and it better not entail tail. but he leans over and kisses me on both cheeks and walks away. And I told Eddie, listen, I'm going to train the kid for 320, but if I'm going to be kissing that old man, I want more money. And he goes, he's European. I said, well, what happened? He said, you just caught lightning in a bottle. I didn't know it. I didn't know this guy just got me a SAG card. He Taft-Hartled me. I didn't know what that meant. And from that day to right now, I've had over 300 appearances in film. I hold the record for deaths. I've died more than anybody in the movies. I've died more than what I think 70 times, you know. And God, I remember a movie called Heat where I got to work with Robert De Niro, and it was like, wow, you know, Big Bob. And it's funny because I had my son, I took my son to the set, and I remember saying, hey, Gilbert, this is Robert De Niro. Robert, my son, Gilbert. And Robert goes, hi, Gilbert. And my son's 9 years old. He goes, you talking to me? You talking to me? And Robert just loved him. They couldn't believe it, right? And you didn't see that movie, Gilbert? He goes, the Comedy Channel, Dad. And we like just laughed, right? And him and Robert became really good friends. I can't tell anybody, you know, anything other than, you know, if you leave this program, you'll die, go insane, or go to jail. You know, and going to jail for me was a relief. Do you understand? And all of us that use drugs have OD'd, you know, so basically overdose death, you know, and thank God we come out of it. And I don't think anybody that's using drugs or drinking alcoholically is mentally fit to run heavy equipment. But if you're new and you're at like the Hope Center, if you're at any other program and you hear this, please, man, listen to what them people are saying, you know. None of them people can get rich doing this, okay? Most of them are here because they want to help. Remember that, you know. I'm here because I just want to die with dignity, you know, and good Lord willing, you know, and the creek don't rise. I talked to God a couple of days ago, and I said, hey, how am I doing? He said, Danny, you're almost out of hell. Keep it up, you know. So I'm still working, and I owe. For me, being of service just doesn't mean being of service to the program I'm in. It's being of service to the world. Everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. I got into the restaurant business doing a favor for a director. He didn't have any money. He wanted to do this movie, and he had he needed a name, and my agent said, Danny, you know what, why don't you try this? I had this movie over here for some money, and she said, you know, Dad, this might be good. I do this silly movie called Badass, turns into a trilogy, make 4 times the money that I was going to make. But on that film, I met a producer named Ash Shaw. And he saw that I like good food. What does he say? Danny, why don't you open a restaurant? I said, Trejo's Tacos. I got 7 restaurants right now. Don't tell anybody. I don't know a thing about running restaurants, but I got great people. Again, great support system. It's what we need. Work a program. Be in it, not on it. And remember, if you leave, you will die, go insane, or go to jail. God bless you. Thank you very, very much for listening to me.
Well, again, we would normally give Danny Trejo a big round of applause. I'm going to do it from right here, and I know you are from where you are watching virtually tonight. What a great presentation from Danny Trejo. I love his humor and his honesty. And now we have the special ability to be able to talk to him live tonight. We're going to be able to pick his brain, talk to him, ask him some questions. You out there are going to be able to chat in some of your questions. So let me go ahead and welcome Mr. Danny Trejo. Danny, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us virtually.
Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you for your honesty, but also for having a little bit of humor, because I think sometimes certainly that's what gets us through it. And it sounds like that's what's done it for you as well.
Honey, I didn't hear you. My dog just decided you want some attention. I'm sorry.
Danny, let me start with one of the questions. You tonight being here with us, you are speaking to a lot of our donors, a lot of our supporters tonight who make it possible for us to do what we do here at the Hope Center. We help more than 600 people each and every day. Talk to me about how important it is to those who need help to have folks like that are on board and that are behind them and that are supporting them.
Well, a perfect example is when I started trying to get clean. I mean, the first time I walked into an AA meeting, I was 15 years old. That was 1959. And basically, there was no kind of rehabilitation centers or detoxes or anything like that. I think the only thing that was going on then was like the Midnight Mission downtown, and you had to be 108 years old, and you had to have 506 drunk drivings. I don't know. You couldn't get in there if you were young, and then they told me, basically I was cursed. Somebody, when I was 15 years old, said, if you leave this program, you will die, go insane, go to jail. And so I left that program in 1959, and 1960, I was in jail. I got out in 1962. 1962, I tried getting clean and sober again, but again, there was no kind of rehabs or facilities. All you did was just drink and use drugs until you got arrested. Really, so it was almost more of a rescue than an arrest. And then I left. Of course, I went to prison, back to prison, and then I got out in 1965. In 1965, there was absolutely nothing. I don't even didn't even have a program. You kind of tried to detox on your own, and I went. My dogs are going crazy. I went to. I did the long inpatient program they have in San Quentin State Prison. And I kind of, in 1968, I kind of hit a wall, and I was sitting in the hole expecting to go to the gas chamber. And I just kind of said, okay, I'm done. What is going on here? There's no worse feeling in the world than a body full of alcohol and drugs and a mind full of Alcoholics Anonymous. There's no worse feeling in the world, because you can no longer become content with your misery, because there's another way. When I got out of the pen in 1969, I thank God I ran into a friend of mine, Frank Russo, who was basically my sponsor, a guy named Frank Russo. And I always say that because he told me never to mention his name. And we started going to a little program that was for young people. It was called RIF, Recovery, Independence, and Freedom. And he took me there because he knew I was going to AA now, and I was going to NA, and he knew that I could be some kind of an example. And it was really funny. He said, Dan, you're perfect, because you could definitely be an example, even if it's a bad one. And so I just, I just stayed clean. I stayed sober. So my sobriety date is August 23rd, 1968. I've been clean and sober 52 years. And let me tell you something, if it wasn't for recovery programs, I'd probably still be using.
Danny, that's incredible. We are asking our folks that are watching from all across.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me. He can't hear me.
You're muted.
I'm muted, they say.
She's muted, Mikey. How do I unmute her?
Can you hear me now, Danny? How about that? Yes. Okay. This is just live. This is how we do it virtual these days. You just roll with it. Danny, we are asking people to submit questions. I got a couple in, so I want to get to them. The next couple of questions I have were submitted by Josh Crittenden with the Men's Recovery Center here. So the first one asking you, having learned to live again in an anonymous program, what was it like, or what happened that helped you or caused you to then move into public advocacy and want to give back to others?
Well, that all comes from the program of Alcoholics and Narcotics Anonymous and Cocaine's Anonymous, because they talk about being of service. Well, the reality is they just don't mean being of service to the program. That's part of it. But my life, it's like I owe quite a bit. You know, God took me off a death row. So basically, I've got like a second chance, third, fourth, fifth chance here, and I owe a debt. And I honestly believe that when you get here and you're done, you know, you start living this life of sobriety, then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, man, I owe a debt, and I owe a debt. So I talked to God a couple of days ago, and I asked him, how am I doing? He said, you're good. You're almost out of hell. Keep it up. So I'm still working, you know, but the reality is that I love being of service, and not just to my program, but to people outside the program. Because what I am an example of this program. And people, how come he's always helping people? Because he belongs to blah, 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 blah. That's it. I'm not the Knights of Columbus, and I'm not like the PTA. I'm a member of Alcoholics and Narcotics Anonymous. And it's an anonymous program. But, I'm on the front page of the LA Times every week, so I make no qualms about where I'm at. I'm not trying to sell anything with AA, and I'm not trying to buy anything with any. I'm a member, and I love being a member of all three programs.
Danny, the second question from Josh was, do you miss any parts or pieces of your early days in the rooms of recovery because of your fame and your success that you've had over the years?
That's a great question, Josh. Yeah, I kind of miss going anywhere I wanted to go and not being, not being, I don't want to say bothered, because it's no bother, but, just being anonymous. And it's like, once you get like a little fame, I'm no longer anonymous. It's like now people sue me, and now people ask me, I get asked to talk at some of the weirdest places in the world, but I love being in this program.
Danny, the questions are rolling in, so I've got several coming your way. Somebody wants to know this was submitted by the Men's Recovery Center. What was that aha moment for you where it just all became clear of like, I need to change my ways, or this is where my life is taking me now? Do you have those, or do you have several of those?
Well, the reality is I was sitting in a hole in Soledad. I was involved with quite a big riot. It was Cinco de Mayo. Now everybody thinks that Cinco de Mayo means 5th of May. But if you're a Mexican, it means get bail money, because you're going to jail. You just get drunk on Cinco. That's the get drunk week, very few Mexicans even know what it means. Hey, Cinco de Mayo, and just get drunk, you beat up your neighbor, your wife stabs you. There's something going to happen on Cinco de Mayo. And so it was Cinco de Mayo 1968. Outside baseball team came into the penitentiary. Me, Ray Pacheco, Henry Quijada were involved in a prison riot that became very, very violent. And the three of us went to the hole. And basically, we all had gas chamber offense charges. And I was sitting there, and in pieces, somebody wrote on my cell in the hole, God sucks. And you're sitting there. Now you understand, 59, 62, 65. I knew about this program. 68, I knew about the program. So there's no worse feeling in the world than a body full of drugs and alcohol and a mind full of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm sitting there in the hole thinking about all the people that told me, hey, have a good day. Have a nice day. God, all these people that were just like so wonderful to me, and they're going to kill me. And I asked God. It's like, I know, I know about this program. I said, dear Heavenly Father, let me die with dignity. Just don't let me be a big crybaby. Let me die with dignity, and I'll say your name every day, and I will do what I can, whatever, for my fellow inmate. Because I thought, 2-3 years are going to kill me. Well, God fooled me. He gave me the rest of my life. He said, here, now let's see you keep your promise. And it wasn't like a promise of like, just get me out of trouble. Or it wasn't like, I should have said, just get me out of trouble. But I said, let me die with dignity. So he's kept his word. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to die with dignity. I got a lot of things going for me right now. And all I got to do is just keep saying his name and do whatever I can for my fellow man. And that's what I do. And that's what everybody who is associated with me, everybody that I choose to call my friend and break bread with, they all have thermal socks and thermal underwear in their trunk of their car because we hand it out to the homeless. They all have cans of food. So we do. I got a Land Rover that's probably worth ridiculous 150 grand, and I got cans of food in the back. Because we hand it out. And I love doing that. I love being an answer to the community.
I think you may have just answered this, but somebody is asking, what's the best thing about being sober? And I certainly hear it from you is a lot of that is being able to give back to other people at all times, right?
Absolutely. That is the most gratifying thing in the world. When you can go to bed knowing that you helped somebody and wake up feeling that you want to help somebody, no better feeling in the world. Let me tell you, I was in the airport in Dallas, and I'm standing there, I'm looking at these guys that are staring at me, right? And I'm thinking, oh God, let me see. I'm about to hit one of these guys with an ashtray. And this guy comes up, big kid, man, and he goes, hey, I want to thank you. What? He says, I was in juvenile hall when you talked 10 years ago, and it really changed my life. I almost, I went to the bathroom and sat down and prayed. I just said, thank you, God. Thank you, man. You let me be a part of somebody's life. What a joy. Do you understand? What a joy. Every morning I say my prayers. Let me sign every autograph and let me take every picture, because what an unbelievable, make somebody's day with an autograph or a picture. Make somebody's day. Do you understand? And you can make somebody's day just to saying hi. Yeah. Hello. Hey, how are you? God bless you. My favorite saying, God bless you.
You should never let those moments go, because you're right. You never know that person that you're going to touch that day, or you may not know it and how much it means to them. And certainly sometimes you get more out of it. I know that firsthand, Danny. One of the questions, if you had...
Wait, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you something. My uncle, I was trying to get my uncle clean and sober. He was a dope fiend, armed robber. And my little cousin David called me up and said, hey, Uncle Gilbert's naked in the backyard with the girl. And see, in Pacoima, where I live, it's being naked. In Beverly Hills, it's sunbathing, okay? It's nude sunbathing when you're rich, but it's naked in Pacoima. And so I went over to my mom's. I said, hey, Gilbert, I'm trying to get him to go to rehab. And he's got this girl there, and she's naked, and she's loaded, and she's being like, hey, God, I want to smack her. But they're like, I'm trying to get Gilbert, and she kept interrupting, and hey, do they allow girls? Like, shut up. I cussed at her every way I could, and then Gilbert went to get some lemonade, and I told her, look, you keep butting in, I'm going to beat you. Shut up. I want to get him to rehab. He's going back to Folsom. And so she came back. So when I asked Gilbert, okay, Gilbert, you want to go to rehab? He goes, nah. And she says, can I go? Honest to God. And he said, no, you don't want to go. Yeah, no, I want to go. So she goes to rehab. I take them both to rehab because he wanted to follow girl, right? And so he goes, she stays. 2 days later, my uncle splits with a girl named Rachel Silva. They go do an armed robberies over. That girl, this is almost 50 years ago. This girl is still clean. Every time I see her, oh, there's the man that saved my life. God bless you. I think, oh God.
Danny, I know that you weren't rich and famous when you got sober, but being in the public eye, has that made it harder over the years to stay sober and not feel that pull back to the old days?
Well, I am the same person. I love the fact that AA, and they didn't give it away. I support so many causes, so many people. 'Cause that's just, it doesn't do no good if you share it. I know some people that are so rich and so miserable. You know what I mean? So miserable. And like, God, man, it's like, you know what? There's nothing. If you're miserable more than you're happy, you're doing something wrong. All right? But this program, misery, I know how to get rid of that. Ooh, anger, oh, I know how to get rid of that. Oh, resentment. Resentments are like me taking poison, hoping you die. Okay, they don't work. Do you understand? I resent nobody. I don't resent nothing because it's just like turns it on me. And so when God sees fit to give me a good day, I gotta make sure I let him have his own way. Hey, that was pretty good.
That was good, Danny. Jacqueline is asking tonight, if you had to choose a career outside of Hollywood, what would you choose? I mean, I know that you are a really great lawn guy, it sounds like. So what other career would be out there for you?
You know what? I'm a drug counselor. I'm still a drug counselor. I work for Western Pacific MedCorp. That's how I got involved in the movies. I was working with somebody. I had them. They were an extra, and I went after them to help them. And it's like, I think I just go, I'm still in drug abuse. I go there. I love it. I love watching, because it's the same thing. You're watching somebody grow. You know what I mean? You're watching somebody like, just, man, it's like, you meet this guy's kids and you meet my family. I want to meet my family then. You come over for dinner, oh man, and you played a part in this guy's life. And now all of a sudden you're like, you're watching his wife and family, and it's like, what a blessing. So I love what I do.
It shows, Danny. It shows. Yeah, I'm curious. We are in such a different world right now where, let's face it, we can't be together. Normally, you would be here in Lexington with us. Do you worry about the folks out there that do need to get help or that are in the middle of getting help, that this still separates them or would keep them from getting the help that they need?
Well, what we've been doing, we've been feeding like a lot of hospitals and a lot of homeless shelters and just a lot of shelters, and it just kind of takes my mind off the worry. And wear a mask, we wear masks, and we joke about it. It's funny because when we were passing out food one time, all the women with children, do you have any Pampers? Do you have any Pampers? And so I didn't know. I forgot how expensive Pampers were. And my kids are 30 years old. I went and I bought 130 boxes of Pampers. Whoa! But we were passing out Pampers, and my assistant, Mario Castillo, he says, man, we could never go back to the joint now. I said, why? Are you kidding? They give us a nickname like, hey, Huggies, come here. Because when you go to the pen, if you were stealing bikes, it's a sprocket. So we'd be Huggies or Loves. Not a good nickname to have in the pen.
Danny, we've got a few more questions, or are we going to wrap it up? Okay, Danny, you have been amazing to be here with us tonight and give us a little extra time. Thank you so much for staying on and chatting with us, and thank you for sharing your story and being a source of hope and inspiration to a lot of people that are watching here tonight, not just in Lexington, but across our great state in Kentucky.
You know what? I'm so glad. I think you watched Inmate Number 1. I am so glad that you enjoyed it. We tried to do the best we could. I'm writing my book right now with a guy named Donald Logue. And it's funny because writing this book was like an inventory And it was strange that I've been doing inventories for almost 50 years. And when I started writing this book, man, I'd been, I don't know how to say it. I'd been like touching, like skimming, you know what I mean? But when we started working with this, it's got like, I think I got really emotional doing it just because it was the inventory. God bless you. Thank you guys so much for listening to me. Thank you for having me.
Normally we give you a big round of applause here, so we're going to do that. Everybody's giving you
Night of hope.
Danny Trejo, thank you so much.
Night of hope. Stay right where you're at. Remember that.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Danny Trejo, everybody. That was a treat. I always say every year we have a different speaker, and I don't know how it can get any better the next time we have another speaker, but tonight it certainly did. So a big thank you. We are going to check in here in just a moment live. We want to see we saw the men earlier. We want to check in on our ladies who are watching from our Women's Recovery Center over on Versailles Road. So we want to be able to check in with them. And again, I'm just going to say thank you to Danny Trejo, because it was one thing for him to be a part of our program, but to stay on all that time and answer some of your questions, that was a big deal. Let's check in. Do I have the ladies at the Ball Quantrell Center? Ladies, are you there? Ladies, how was Danny Trejo? I think they like it. Dakota, ask them maybe somebody what was the best part tonight from Danny.
The story.
All right. Ladies, thank you all so much for tuning in there. We appreciate it. We'll give him one more big round of applause for Danny Trejo over there tonight. All right, I think we have a couple more videos to show you right now.
Good job, ladies. Way to shout out loud for our celebrity tonight. My name is Stephanie Ragland. I am the Director of Programs for the Ball Quantrell Jones Hope Center Recovery Program for Women. We have recently expanded and now have space for 115 women in our long-term residential program. As I always like to say, once our ladies are here, they blossom into beautiful roses, thanks to the 12-step process and a loving God and a supportive community of staff and residents. Once they complete the recovery program, we have the Barbara Hardwick Rouse House, which offers the ladies 44 drug and alcohol-free studio apartments. This safe environment gives them time to secure jobs and reunite with family and outside support. Women and men are also offered the opportunity for Hope Center Recovery Services in the Fayette County Detention Center, where they can start their recovery process while incarcerated and also complete here in our community programs of the Hope Center. Let me just say that we are blessed to have donors like you to come and support us and the women here at the Hope Center who are blessed too. And so let's take a look at a couple of them at this time.
I've been on and off of drugs my whole life. You know, I've never really been comfortable with who I was. I thought I was real confident and that I had real good self-esteem. But after really breaking down where my addiction started and the things that I'd been through and that I'd overcame, the biggest thing I think that made me the most comfortable at the Hope Center was the staff relationship. The majority of the staff at the Women's Center have been there. They've been through that program. If they haven't been through that program, then they've been affected by addiction in one way or another. And now, the longer that I've been sober for 17 months, and the longer that I continue down this journey, I realize like there is life out there that you can be happy. My life is completely different today. You know, when I first came to the Hope Center, I was gonna do the program, get out, go back home. I didn't necessarily have it in my mind that I was gonna go back to the same stuff, but I was not gonna hang around here. You know, 17 months later, I'm now a staff member at the Hope Center. I have my own apartment off site. I don't live at the Hope Center. My kids are in my life. My family's in my life. I just never thought that this was the kind of life was possible for me. There's a lot of things that I enjoy about my life today, but I think if I had to pick one, it's just that peaceful, easy feeling.
I say I was a functional alcoholic for at least 10 or 12 years. I had 3 children. I divorced. I think I hit my rock bottom when the pain pills came into play. I went from raising 3 kids and from working in a doctor's office, pretty good job, to being homeless. Pretty much though, when I got to the Hope Center, I was broken, homeless, broken, sad. Didn't really know what was wrong with me. I had to learn everything new again. And the Women's Hope Center helped me do that. They had a lot of patience and a lot of love. I still can go back there today and feel like I'm at home. It was the first place that nobody judged me. Nobody had harsh words. They clothed me, they fed me. I wasn't DOC or court ordered, and they didn't care. All they cared about was helping me. I've been sober almost 9 years, and I feel like I have a new life. It's the freedom, it's the peace that I got from there. The Hope Center will always be home.
We say thank you because I know it's not always easy maybe to share your story with us, but every year I'm so grateful to so many people who come forward and share their stories like we just saw there. And it is about you, our clients. That's why we're here tonight. So thank you for that. And right now, we've got a lot of other thank yous now coming to all of you out there.
Before I came here, I was totally lost. But when I came here, the Hope Center gave me, how can I put it in words?
I don't know where I'd be today. I could be dead. I could be in jail. I could be anywhere else.
I just want to give a big thank you to everybody that has supported the Hope Center throughout the years and even through this COVID-19 pandemic.
For giving us a safe place to stay.
I'm grateful for everybody who has donated stuff like hand sanitizer, masks.
We were well provided for, and I just want to give my gratitude for that. And I'm grateful for the Hope Center. It's really changed my life.
It's been a blessing in disguise up here for us, and we really appreciate what you've done.
The people that I never met that donated to the Hope Center.
For you all that just help us be who we are.
It's touched my heart, and that's why it always feels like I'm going home.
I really love this place. It's like a second home to me.
It was a place of love. It was a place that accepted me.
It really changed my life and a better direction for the life that I want to live.
Because it have helped my life, my kids' life, and others around me.
I'm grateful today for the Hope Center and the people, the staff, peer mentors, everybody, because it saved my life.
And we appreciate you, and we love you, and thank you.
For providing me with a new way of life, I'm really grateful.
For your hearts. Because if it wasn't for your heart, I couldn't find mine.
Wow. This evening was a lot of fun. I know we didn't come together the way that we normally do, but it still feels like a Ball Homes Night of Hope night. And it's because of all of you out there. So thank you for being here with us. We hope that you had a great time in this new kind of virtual way that we had to do it this year. You can still live chat with Danny and supporters up until, 9 o'clock tonight. So you still got about 15 minutes. Don't forget that we have some of those great items that you can still bid on in the silent auction. That's also up until 9 o'clock this evening as well. So go check those out. Again, we could not do this without the amazing donors and supporters who come in every single year and help us out. And so we just want to say thank you again to every single person, company that supported us here tonight. And most importantly, we hope to see you next year when we can all be together again at the Lexington Opera House. So I'm going to send everybody out there a big hug, and we hope that you are safe where you are, and we will see you next year. Thanks so much for joining us.